Good morning, welcome to today's vlog. My name is Amelia and this is my vlog Sew Amelia, which is all about sewing, but today we're starting off in the kitchen because this is a day in my life video. So welcome to the video. I have just done the school run. So when I woke up this morning it was pouring with rain, so I decided to just put on some leggings and one of my favourite hug hoodies. I absolutely love this jumper. It gets worn all the time, especially on cool autumnal mornings, but I will get changed shortly and get myself ready for the day. But before I do that, I thought I'd fold some washing, get that away, and of course, drink my coffee. Very important. So yeah. Yes. Okay, where were we? Washing. So, and ironing. I hate ironing. So the children are all dropped off at school and nursery today, so I'm going to have a sewing day, which is exciting. Getting some of these chores out of the way first, and then I'll get on with a little bit of sewing. This week it is my birthday. I'm filming this on Tuesday, my birthday's on Thursday, and I thought I would like to try and have a go at making a birthday skirt for myself. So we'll see how far I get with that today. I'm not sure I'll finish it in today's video, but you can come along with me and see how I get on with the whole process of sewing up a skirt. So that's the plan. So a little bit of life, a little bit of sewing, and we'll see how we get on. I hope you enjoy the video. Right, that's better. I have got myself dressed. I'm actually wearing the Forsyth dress today by French Navy. I tested their expansion pack for this dress, which was an absolute joy. I love sewing French Navy patterns. This version comes with this sleeve, which is a bishop sleeve, I think. I'll pop in a picture here so you can see the full dress. I love how I said I'm going to have a day of sewing. It is almost 10:30, but I have done a lot of the jobs that needed to be done, so that's great. I'm up in the sewing room, and actually I'll probably only get a couple of hours to sew. That's more than I usually get on a weekday, so I'm very excited to have this time to myself this morning, because this afternoon I will need to be getting the dinner prepped. The children have an afternoon of activities today, so I'll need to make sure I've got snacks. We'll have an easy tea ready because we've also got guests coming around this evening. Tuesdays are often a busy day, so I'm really excited that I've got a couple of hours just to chill out in my sewing room this morning, have some time to myself, and hopefully get a start on my birthday skirts. I'll share what I'm going to make since this is a sewing video. I am going to make the Natalie skirt by Forget Me Not Patterns. Now, I am a style insider for Forget Me Not Patterns, which just means I get access to their full catalogue of patterns, and I make up 4 of those during the year and then share those with you on YouTube and on Instagram. But my opinions are very much my own. I signed up to be a pattern insider for Forget Me Not Patterns because I love them so much. I think Jo's drafting is excellent. I really like her pattern instructions, and I love the techniques for finishing off the patterns as well because they always look so beautiful. So the Natalie skirt is a gored skirt, they call it, because it's made up of different panels. It comes as an A-line skirt or as a flared skirt, and I'm actually going to make the flared skirt version. That usually is a style that looks better on me anyway, but because I'm going to make it in this gorgeous viscose twill, which is very, very drapey, I thought that the flared skirt would look better, and the drape of this will really suit the flared pattern. So this was actually a de-stash fabric that I bought from the lovely Gemma Daily, who is the Daily Thread on Instagram, and it's a Mind the Maker viscose twill. So if I can find the fabric at any of my favourite independent sewing shops, I'll link them down below, but this was one that I bought from a de-stash and I really, really love it, and I think it would look so cute with a turtleneck and boots on my birthday. So I'm very much hoping that this will come together really nicely and I'll be able to wear that on Thursday. I spent some time last night cutting out the pattern pieces. I decided to go with a size 36, which I'm hoping will be okay. I am between a size 36 and a size 38 for my waist measurements. The waist measurement for a size 36 is 29.5, and I am a size 30 inches, but the finished measurements are 30.25 inches. Now the seam allowance is only a centimetre, but I think I'll probably sew a scant centimetre seam allowance at the waist, but I think that will fit me fine. Previous patterns where I've sewn up with 0 ease at the waist, where there is a finished measurement of 30 inches, fit me really nicely, so I think a finished measurement of 30.25 inches over the waist will be fine. I just felt because this is a fitted skirt around the waist, going up to a size 38 where there was a finished measurement of more like 31.5 inches was possibly just going to be a little bit big. So with all that said, I'm going to get cracking and actually get some sewing done. And the first step is to fuse the pieces that need fusing, so the waistband pieces, the front of the skirt, because this is finished with buttons, and then to do some stay stitching and finishing off some edges. So never the most fun task, but it's always good to get it done first and out of the way. So I just thought I'd pop on quickly and let you know where I'm up to with the skirt. So I have put the interfacing on all of the pieces. This is the front skirt piece where the buttons are going to be. And then I've just tacked that down and finished the inside edge. And I have marked already because I do love, like I said, the instructions. They're so clear and helpful. And there is a note to mark the button and buttonhole placings at this point because it's easier to do it whilst the pattern piece is flat, which of course it is. But sometimes it's really helpful to point that out. So I have marked the buttonholes on this side and the buttons on the other side, and then I have stay stitched the top of the skirt pieces. Because it's done in panels, there is that risk that it might stretch out, so I have stay stitched the top of each skirt panel, and now I get to start putting the panels together. So yes, it's taken me about an hour to do all the stay stitching. There are 4 skirt front pieces and 4 skirt back pieces, so it has taken me a little while, and then interfacing all of the waistband pieces. I'm doing the version with the waistband that's extended because I just think it looks so pretty. So that's taken a little while. Hopefully the next step will go a bit more quickly, although I'm not here for speed. I do like to have an end product that is beautifully sewn and will last me a long time. So I'm just having a lovely slow morning really. I'm just indulging myself completely and trying to do things as neatly and carefully as possible. So I'm going to carry on now and sew these skirt panels together, and hopefully I'll pop back on in a bit with a skirt. Okay, so I have got a skirt back and a skirt front. That's the skirt back, and then the skirt front is obviously still in 2 pieces because it is a button down front. So there's the front. Sadly, I think I might need to replace my overlocker needles, and I've not done that before. I wonder if I need to do that because I don't know if you can see on the camera, there are some pulls in the fabric. I'm pretty sure it's not my sewing machine needle. I put a fresh Microtex needle in, and when I sew the seams it's fine, but once I've overlocked the seams, there are just some little pulls in the fabric, which is a bit sad because it is really lovely fabric. So I'm going to stop now for lunch because I'm ravenous and I need to get dinner sorted, and I need to get the kids' things sorted for activities after school. So I'm going to go and do a bit of that now. I don't think I'm going to get this finished today in this video, but we'll see. There's quite a lot to do yet. You'll see from the front that this dress has got beautiful slash pockets, so I've got to put the pocket bags on next. I may get that done this afternoon, but I definitely don't think I'm going to get to the waistband, and I don't want to rush this make. So this might be one that you have to come back in my November makes video to find out if I finished it, but we'll see. We'll see how far I get in this video. Hi, well I'm back in the sewing room after a very strange hour or so of blue sky followed by torrential rain. I did get my lunch done and the kiddies' dinner done, and I've got snacks for everyone for after school, so hopefully that will last them until we manage to get home for our dinner. I've got about an hour before I need to leave for pickup, so I'm going to see if I can at least get these pockets on and the waistband started. Hi, so I need to head off for the school run now, so it may well be the end of the day in sewing because we've got guests coming over tonight and I'm not sure if I'll be able to get any more sewing time in, or should get any more sewing time in after that. It's probably going to be bedtime. But let me show you where I did get up to. So the skirt itself is finished. You can sort of see the front and the back, and here's the button placket down the front. So it's just the waistband now that needs to go on and hemming it, but because this is a really interesting notched waistband, it is going to take a little bit more time, so I don't want to rush this. I want to make sure I do a really good job of it, and so that it looks really good and it's going to last a long time in my wardrobe. So if I can pop back on tonight, I will. Otherwise, I'll try and pop in some footage at the end of the video to show you how it turned out, because hopefully I will have this finished for my birthday on Thursday. Hi, so it's Wednesday now, and I just thought, you know what, I can't leave you hanging. I have to bring you along on the rest of this skirt sewing journey because I've got about an hour now whilst my toddler is downstairs asleep, and I'll probably have another hour or so tonight after the children are all in bed. I think I can get this finished, and I wanted to leave you in the video with perhaps an either finished or almost finished skirt, so that you can see the whole process, because I think I will get it finished. It is a lovely pattern to sew up. Like I said at the beginning, I just really enjoy sewing up forget-me-not patterns. The instructions are superb. They're very, very clear with just some lovely finishing touches to the pattern. There are notches where you need them, there are markings where you need them, and it just comes together beautifully. So as of now, I have a finished skirt front and back, and the placket. This is the placket going down the middle. It's still got a raw top, obviously, because it's waiting for the waistband. And then what I did yesterday, just before pickup, was to sew the top of the waistband together. So it's a lovely raised waistband, which I think will look really pretty, and it's got this notch. I don't know if you can see that. It's got a lovely notch in the middle of the waistband. So my next job is to sew the waistband top pieces together, and then the waistband, the bottom of the waistband together, and then attach that to the skirt. So I'm not sure if I'll get all of that done in the next hour, but that's the goal. And then this morning with my toddler, we went to her baby ballet class, which she just loves. So that was lots of fun for her. And then we potted along the road afterwards to my local haberdashery, which was fun. She loves going there and seeing all of the buttons on the wall, and it's always difficult to get out of the shop afterwards. But we did manage it, and I picked up some very plain black buttons, which I think will go really nicely down the front of that button placket. I just didn't have enough in my stash of plain buttons, and that fabric speaks for itself. I didn't want any fancy buttons, so I've just gone to get some plain round black buttons. But, and here's where I need some help. If you followed my videos before, you'll know that I'm making my daughter a Christmas dress from this glorious Nutcracker fabric. Now it's got this blue, I guess it's a plaid look. It's got these crisscrossing diamonds from red and gold, and then this beautiful panel down the bottom made from, with characters from the Nutcracker. And we're hoping to go to watch my goddaughter dance in the Nutcracker, and it would be so cute if my daughter could be wearing her Nutcracker dress to the performance. It's a bit much, isn't it? But I couldn't resist making it up when I knew we were going to her first Nutcracker. I only bought about a metre, I think, or a metre and a half of this fabric. It is unfortunately out of print now, and I cannot get any more of this fabric. But I did manage to get the pieces for the vintage pattern that I've sewn up before, the McCall's 2218. So it's a beautiful vintage pattern, and the reason that I'm using it is because of the way that the front and the back of this pattern is cut. It keeps that panel along the bottom almost in one piece all the way around the skirt, and you just get some lovely gathers around the side of the dress. So I think it will work so well for this fabric. So fortunately I managed to get all of the major pieces out. I did have to make the back piece slightly shorter. I didn't quite have enough to get the full width of that back skirt out, but because it's gathered in, I think that will be fine. Mine will just be slightly less gathered than the pattern requires, but I'm just glad to get this fabric used up. And actually I think if I hadn't used it up this year, I might not have had enough to do her a dress in the future. So it's probably good I'm getting this made up for her Christmas this year. Now, because I can't pick up any more of this fabric, I thought I would try and match the colours here, because this top part here with the dark blue and the red and gold is what I've got the top of the dress, so the bodice, made from, and the bow just sits here. So what I've done is I've chosen two colours that I think match the fabric of the dress, and I'll hold them up against the fabric and you can tell me which one you think, look at that, perfect, would look best as a sash or a bow around the middle. So I've got this blue, which matches, I think, pretty closely the blue. So the bodice sort of comes down here, and then the ties extend from the side of the bodice all the way around the back of the skirt. So that's one option, that darker blue. The other option is this red, which actually matches the red in this here, and obviously the red in Herr Drosselmeyer's cape. So I thought that could be quite fun and quite Christmassy to have a bit of a contrast bow. But what do you think? What would you do? Answers in the comments below. Do let me know, because you were so helpful before with the binding for her autumn coat. It was so fun to hear all of your opinions in the comments. So let me know below, what would you pick? Would you pick the red for the sash, or go with the blue for a more subtle sash? I'm going to ponder that for a little bit whilst I finish my skirt. Now it is my birthday tomorrow and I'm going out for brunch with some lovely friends, so I'm hoping to have it finished for tomorrow. I think I can do it. Waistband, buttons and buttonholes, and hemming the skirt. I reckon I've got a fair chance of getting it finished today, but I'll pop back on in a bit and let you know how I'm getting on. Hi, so it's time to go and pick up the children. My toddler wasn't keen on a nap, but that's fine. She's had a lovely time playing with my buttons. So I've managed to get a little bit of sewing time. Not a huge amount, and I'm going to go play with her now and then do the school run. But I have put the waistband on, which is really exciting. So I'll turn it right side out. You can see there it is with the lovely notch there at the back. So at the front, when it's finished, there'll be a little notched edged there as well. So I'm going to head off now, play with my daughter and do the school run, and I shall come back to this later on and give it a good press. Obviously it's not pressed. Give it a good press, edge stitch it, and then hem it and buttonhole. So I do think I'll get this done tonight, as long as I get a bit of sewing time tonight, but I am glad that I managed to get a little bit of sewing done this afternoon with that waistband, putting that on. Hello, it's Thursday and it's my birthday, and I thought I would pop on to close out this day in my life, which has turned into 3 days in my life. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed watching the video. I did finish the skirt, and in fact I'm wearing it today. I've just come back from a lovely coffee with some friends, which was just a lovely way to start the day, and I'm looking forward to having a lovely birthday afternoon with my family once the children are all back from school. I really enjoyed sewing up the Natalie skirt. It was a real pleasure to work on. The only thing I'm really sad about is the fact that there are some pulls or some runs in the fabric, despite being very careful in using a microtex needle. That has happened, but I'm hoping that if I get my Sharpies out later, I'll be able to perhaps just colour over those pulled threads and they won't be quite so obvious. But apart from that, I absolutely loved sewing this. I love the swishy viscose fabric that I got to use for this project, and I think it's going to get a lot of wear this winter, as well as potentially in the summer with like a little cami top perhaps, or a vest top. So I think this will be a skirt that I wear year round. It's so lovely and light and floaty. I can see it being great for the summer, but with tights and boots and a lovely warm turtleneck, I think it's going to be great in the winter too. And before I go, I got a couple of sewing presents and I thought I would just share them with you because I'm very excited about them. I did get a pair of the Prim Vario pliers. So I do use poppers and snaps and things on my children's clothing, and I would like to use some eyelets on some jogging bottoms and things, and I've heard some really good things about the Prim Vario pliers. So I'm really excited to have these now in my stash and to be able to use them on future projects. The other present I got from my lovely brother and his lovely wife was this Building the Pattern book by Named Clothing. I've been looking at this one for a while. I've got their first book, which I absolutely love, and this one looks fantastic too. There's just so much in here in terms of how to alter patterns, how to fit patterns, and then some beautiful, beautiful patterns in this book too. So I'm really looking forward to having a browse with my afternoon coffee this afternoon before I pick up the children and think about what I might make from this book. And then my lovely sister and my lovely mum also sent me through some fabric vouchers, which is just so exciting. So I've been really, really thoroughly spoilt this birthday with some lovely sewing gifts. So I'm very excited about that. And yeah, just enjoying my day swishing around in my new skirt. I hope you've enjoyed coming along and seeing what I got up to over the last couple of days sewing up this skirt. And I hope that you have a lovely week ahead filled with lots of happy sewing. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Goodbye.